Hi, morning everyone. I wish I could speak Japanese, but unfortunately I can only speak English now, so please bear with me. Okay, so my topic is talking about Tokenization 3.0, the evolution for tokenized payment. Okay, so if you wonder what is Tokenization 3.0, if you're familiar with card payment business, probably you know about this. Tokenization 2.0 was introduced by Visa and MasterCard many years back. So this is very important to improve the security for card payment process and later also support the latest more creative payment experience such as Apple Pay and Google Pay. So Tokenization 3.0 in fact is to push tokenization to the next height, right? So it goes beyond the card payments and also supports all different payment process later on. So I want to start my introduction with these charts. Okay, so this is a chart to show you the full stack of payment and the clearing network built on PlatON chain. Okay, if you are coming from Web3 industry, I think probably all those elements below will be more familiar to you. Those are the white label wallets, wallet plugin service, cross-chain bridge, also on-chain liquidation management. If you're coming from Web2 industry, I think all those elements on top of the charts probably will make more sense to you. So those are the cross-border remittance solutions to reduce the cost for cross-border payment providers with tokens on-chain. And also this is a token issuance solution where we empower the banks or the non-bank institutions, the capital market service, even merchants to issue tokens on blockchain without their teams to understand all those Web3 jargons, without their teams to understand the Web3 operations. We also have merchant acquiring solution. This is to enable merchant to accept token as a payment method, right? So last one, we also have a system to facilitate the OTC operation as well. So but on this full stack network, right, though the Web3 and the Web2 are not separately organized. So in fact, they are connected through our core business, core operations with blockchain. We also integrate other critical service of our part of the service, so our licensed entity can quickly use those services to perform the business on that. So last but not least, we also have zero knowledge proof. I will introduce this later on. Okay, I think a lot of you have heard about those buzzwords since the beginning of the year, because this is the year for pay fights, right? So you definitely have heard about this somewhere in other conferences as well. So the question here is why, right? Why blockchain and the payment will come together? To talk about these answers, I need to go through with you the payments and the revolution of payments systems. So those are the payment methods everyone using today. So starting from cashes, which we've been using for hundreds of years, and also charge cards was introduced by Diners Club more than 70 years ago. Then we have Visa, MasterCard. So they bring these payment networks into a more open scenario, so where more players will come into play for card payments, and we have credit card, debit card, more than just a charge card in the market, right? So this is something we are familiar with, only happens 20 years ago, where first Alipay will introduce their wallets to the world, following that more and more wallets will come to the world as well. And I believe every one of you down there, you must have at least one wallet in your mobile. Okay, crypto payments. Can anyone tell me the very famous stories happened 15 years ago about crypto payments? Anyone? Okay, so this interesting story happens 15 years ago when the gentleman bought 2 pizzas from Papa John's with 10K BTC. It won't happen today, but by the time BTC in fact is that cheap. Okay, so this is everyone familiar with, we as a consumer, but most people do not know the clearing process and the settlement process behind the scene. So I give you a quick introduction and you will realize what's the difference for the Web3 payments and Web2 payments. So for card business, right, so it doesn't matter whether you are riding on Amex or Diners or Visa or MasterCard, the clearing will be done by the card scheme network among all those different members. And the settlements will be pushed through the banks, where the money will be moving around with the members based on the net of results. For wallets, it is actually simplified a lot. They don't have all those rules in the ecosystem. Basically, the balance will be kept by the wallet operator in the centralized ledgers. Unfortunately, till today, there's no global network to settle all the wallets, but their Alipay try to implement their Alipay Plus network to connect with the Asia-Pac wallets to do cross-wallet settlement and clearing. So again, this is centralized entity will help to do a clearance among all the different wallets, and in the end, the money will move around with the help of the banks for the settlements. So for blockchain, right? So crypto and blockchain. So what to do with crypto payments? How do we do clearance and settlement with payments in cryptos? Do we need another centralized entity to do that? The answer is no need. Reason being, it doesn't matter whether it is card payment business or it's a wallet payment business. In the end, all the transactions will confirm and the payments will centralize in the entities who provide this service. And later on, based on all the accountings, and the money will move around with the help from the banks, right? Because the money never exists in the payment networks. Payment network only confirms the payments, while the money will be processed at night, right, through the help of the bank. So the value moves between the bank accounts instead of the payment systems. So we're looking at the Web3 environments, right? So in the Web3 payments, when the money was being paid from consumer to the merchants, when the payment was confirmed, in fact the token has already transferred to the merchants' wallets. So that means the value already in the merchant's hands. I do not need to do another clearing process at night time and also need the help from the banks to do settlements. So you see this is a very big difference between the payments in the Web 2 and the Web 3. Right? So Web 2 is all centralized, you have a lot of complicated process. For Web 3, thanks to the blockchain technology, we don't need all those processes. Right? Everything was done, or the payment and settlement were done at the same time. That's why we believe the blockchain effect, in fact, is born for payment settlements. Okay. So PlatON, we are a team of the payment veterans that have been working in this industry for more than 2 decades. So we know very well about the payment process, we know very well about the settlement process. And we do believe the blockchain will actually push the settlement to the next time. So what the vision is the PlatON? The vision of PlatON is actually we want to use the technology for blockchain, and we want to build a settlement system that will help all the players to do settlements based on the blockchain technology rather than relying on the centralized settlement system, right? So everything will be more smooth, costs will be reduced, and then we can support more payment scenarios rather than the card payments. Okay. So you heard all those introductions. You probably have the idea, well, since blockchain is so easy, can I just write it on the blockchain to do settlements, right? Without anything through how the settlement should be processed on the blockchain? The answer is no. So with our experience, right, we know how a settlement system should be structured to support the business. Right? So for the business application to consume the downstream tech foundation actually is very complicated. If not so stream, you can just direct jump from here to all the way to smart contracts, right? For a business application to process all the payments, you need to have the whole system to streamline the processing to make sure the processing is reusable, right? And also can be processed with less bugs. That means you need to fine-tune the whole process on that, right? With the system design with the technologies. So from architecture perspective, we start with this payment analysis. So we look through all the scenarios required, and we come up with 2 basic payment methods required. And then we look into technology to see how blockchain technology can help us. Then we have the components. We also have a smart contract related. Then we build all the way from here to here to here to in the end make the payment method to materialize all the different scenarios we have in the markets. Okay, so from process perspective, it looks like everything is in place from system design perspective. But this is enough for a settlement system? Our answer is no. Because payment is an industry, is a business, is highly regulated. For every player in the payment ecosystem, they need to follow a certain regulatory framework in different countries. They have the compliance obligation to follow. Let's say in current payment environments, the major players are issuers, who then in the card business is card issuer like banks, like some financial institutions, And also in the crypto world, it's actually a token issuer, right? So in Singapore perspective, you need to follow the respective license entity under, we call it PSA, Payment Service Act. So similar for a merchant acquiring, so you also need to follow in the merchant acquiring license requirement under the same PSA Act. And for the asset manager, right, who want to do trading, swap, they also need, in Singapore, they need to be licensed under CMS, right? I believe in Japan also there are the regulatory framework to ask all those players to fulfill their regulatory requirements. So when we build the smart contract, we need to make sure our smart contract or product will help our partner to fulfill their compliance obligations, right? So from there onwards, we build all the REST systems, and we look into our blockchain consensus algorithm, we refine the algorithm, and also we have gone through a strict formal verification. So this is a mathematical proof it will work. So with all the preparations, the chain has been running for 4 years. We have produced more than 115 million blocks. We're supporting 75 million transactions, and we can reach the 10K TPS as well. And also, to develop our PlatON chain is very simple because our chain is EVM compatible. So whoever knows how to do things with Ethereum network will know how to deploy a contract on the chapter 1. Okay, so up to here. If you like 4 years ago when we go through this architecture, everything was in place, right? But is that good enough to fulfill all the business needs? Over the years, when we're talking to our business partners, or especially enterprise, we realize the permissionless public chain may not be able to fulfill their needs because they need the control of their environments, right? That's why we have built a new architecture for app chain. So this is application chain, which is built on our basic algorithm blockchain technologies. So it will help the large enterprise. There's no need for them to build everything from scratch, but they can have their own application chain to have control the data, who have control who have access to data, and also control who are the members who will be able to join their chains. Right? So this is the framework will easily help those big enterprises to have the control of their own data and own application. Okay, so over years we have built a lot of applications. You have already heard of those introductions earlier, right? So this is a full suite of the payment solution we provide to remittance, to merchant acquiring, to token issuing. We also have a white label wallet service provide to those Web2 customers, Web2 entities who want to provide UI UX to their individuals for them to enjoy the Web3 technologies, but they don't have the technology to build those. So we have our white label wallet to help them. We also have a ZK Pay. All those solutions, in fact, you will be easily get from a lot of suppliers on the market. But what's so special from PlatON? Because we have a settlement system under this, right? So all the solutions will build on the same settlement system. So we can create a lot of synergies. For example, for token issuer to issue token on a chain, the business doesn't stop when a token was available on the chain, right? Definitely the business is looking for a business case, use case for their own tokens. So in this case, they're looking for acceptance. So this is where our acquiring system will come in to help them. So they can ask their partners and they can ask their merchants to just simply consume our acquiring solution. And we just need to simply turn on their token in the acquiring solution, right? So without to discuss with another service supplier, without to discuss with another ecosystem, they can easily have all those systems and all those solutions ready for them. Similarly for remittance also require a very big liquidity on the chain. So for the issuer, whoever can provide the liquidity, we can simply enable their tokens within the remittance solution, right? So this will help to reduce the cost for both senders and receivers in the same time also putting the business for the token business. Right. So for PlatON, we have been working primarily in Southeast Asia. So we have a lot of partners for using our solutions. This year we will be expanding to Middle East, to Africa, and also to South America. So next year, when MiCA will be fully effective in Europe, and also Trump's administration will give a clear guidance for how the crypto will be regulated in US, we will look into the Europe and also the American markets. Right. So it's very easy to join our ecosystem because all the solutions, all the stacks we have been providing to everyone who want to join us. Right, so they can easily join us through all the different solutions and also tech stacks. So it's come to the end of the introduction. If you want to know more about detailed solutions, how you can probably work with us to see the token solution to help your business, you can easily find it in our groups. Thanks for your time.